Hey guys, check it out. It's a brand new 2019 refreshed Nissan Maxima. Now the Maxima is part of a slowly shrinking breed of cars, the full-size sedan. Nissan says that this Maxima competes with cars like the Acura TLX, the Stinger, that's right, the Kia Stinger, and even the Toyota Avalon. Now this is a refreshed model, and what you'll notice immediately upon casting your gaze onto this Maxima is that it's got kind of a more of a V-motion design language. That's Nissan's design language, which actually you can see there's basically a V here and there, and that's kind of their design language that they've now made a little bit more prominent. And perhaps the best way you can see that V is, of course, right here. The taillights and the headlights have been revised. This has been made a little bit darker, kind of a smoked color, to make it a little bit more, well, a little bit less prominent, a little bit less shiny, a little bit more sinister in some ways. And as I walk around the car, you'll see that there are new wheel options, and the same kind of smoked out glass is also back on the taillights. The exhaust pipes are revised, so look at that. You've got not one, not two, not three, but indeed four different exhaust outlets, except that, of course, those are more cosmetic than real, as you can see right there. Now, a lot of the change is stylistic for this new Maxima, and under the hood, and let's pop it open and I'll show you what's under the hood, we still have the same 3.5 liter V6 that produces 300 horsepower, and that's a lot for what is basically a full-size sedan. Let me see if I can open this with one hand. Yep, there it is. There's the 3.5 liter V6. Of course, if you're wondering how many gears, the answer is as many as you like, because it's paired to a CVT, and that hasn't changed. It's funny, the Japanese automakers are sticking to the full-size sedan. A lot of the American offerings, the Taurus, the Chrysler 300, these vehicles, fortunately, might be going away, especially if you look at the Malibu, which is definitely going away. GM just announced it. Now, inside, we've got also a revised interior, and this is where it really becomes a lot more interesting, and I think a lot more elegant, and in some ways expensive looking. There's this new diamond-shaped cloth accent with these accent colors. It's also here as part of the steering wheel, and it feels really good. Everything in here looks really kind of sinister and badass in some ways, and I like this interior of this car a lot. Let me sit down. And the great thing about these sedans is that they're big, right? Look at me, I'm 6'2". I'm putting my seat all the way down, and not almost all the way back, but kind of where I drive. And you can see that I've got a lot of room in here. My head isn't hitting the top. The steering wheel is very sporty. I mean, everything about this car says sporty and sexy, except, of course, perhaps for the CVT. You've got paddle shifters here, which shift an infinite amount of gears. Okay, there's an algorithm that lets you shift gears. They're not infinite, but I say infinite because CVTs potentially have infinite amount of gears. And then there's a new thing right here. See this button? That's the 360-degree suite of electronic safety protection, things like blindside monitoring, autonomous backup braking, frontal collision braking, all kinds of different features that make this car much safer and in line with what the other manufacturers are doing. And let's start it up, and you can kind of hear it, at least what it sounds like in here. There we go. And there is your little display. You can see the little Maxima there. My door is open. Here's Nissan Connect coming to life. One of the things that Nissan is now doing is actually over-the-air updates for their Infotainment System, which is also cool. So you've got a lot of kind of more modern technology. Here we have a USB-C and a regular USB, which is nice because the C is certainly where it's all going. And then, of course, over here you have your different drive select. So I can go from sport to sport. So I can have basically a sporty driving experience or a regular driving experience, depending on what I want. And yeah, I mean, look at the diamond pattern that is also here. You can kind of see it. It's subtle, but it's definitely in these trim pieces. I love this traditional gear selector. I mean, there's just something really great about having a PDRND that is old school, and I'm old school like that. I'm not really in love with the way the Japanese are changing the gear selector and making it much more, well, much less intuitive. In general, it's just a really nice place to be. You feel like you're in a fine restaurant or in a fine coffee shop. Everything feels modern, everything feels relevant, everything feels really clean and cool. So let's see how much room I have in the back seat now that I've put it where I normally drive. So let's go in the back and let's see how we're doing back here. This is always, of course, a test of a large sedan. Knee room, you know, it's a little tight. Headroom is very tight. That's probably because we've got this massive two-part sunroof. So definitely the front seat is a place you want to be. This car has kind of that low, aggressive, sporty stance. And that also means that the back of the car is swept back to make it look sporty, but you pay the price when you're in the back of it. Back here you have, of course, vents, and once again, USB and a USB-C. Overall, definitely, if you're taller, you probably want to be in the front. So guys, thanks for watching. This has just been a quick walk around of the refreshed 2019 Nissan Maxima. Basically, car makers refresh their cars when they want to keep it more relevant, kind of keep it in line with the latest trends. And I think Nissan has actually done this with the Maxima. And I've got a soft spot in my heart for this vehicle because it's got a lot of horsepower and it's really cool. Of course, it also has the CVT, which kind of takes away from the sportiness. But if you like a car that is an old school, sporty, large sedan, this is certainly something that you might want to take a look at. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, real world, everyday Nissan Maxima reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.